What is up, you guys? It is Breyonna, and today we're going to be testing out the brand new Colourpop Rainbow collection, which I don't know about you guys, but when they launched this collection, I was just literally mind blown because it's just so cute and totally up my alley. But the palette that launched is called Fade into Hue, and it kind of has like a pastel rainbow kind of vibe to the packaging. It's really gorgeous. And then on the back here, we do have the shade names. But when we open up the palette, unfortunately, there is no mirror in here. But look at that color story. Like, it is so fun. We have these really nice pastel mattes in here. We have a lot of glitter and shine because there is some pressed glitters in here. And then we also have some really nice bright mattes down in here as well. And also with this collection, Colourpop launched a gel liner pencil little roll. It's kind of like a brush roll, but instead of brushes, it has liners in it. Personally, I'm not really into these types of rolls. I never use the packaging, but again, if you're into this, it is really cute looking. And then here are the liners inside. And as you can see, we have the white one called Exit, which is one of my favorites. We have some of these pastel ones that launched with the tie-dye collection, and then also staples and the Colourpop gel liner pencil line. Now, I'm just saying, before we test out the goodies in this rainbow collection, make sure you hit the subscribe button down below and also give this video a like. And if you'd like to check me out over on my Instagram page or my TikTok, it is at Breyonna as well. So to save on some time, I did pry my eyelids off camera because I kind of want to do two different eye looks today, like the warm tones on one side and then the cool tones on the other. I think that'd be really cool. So the first shade I want to go in with is this kind of like pastel yellow shade called Big Smile. So I'm just going to be taking this shade using a crease brush from Wet n Wild. I think it's from the Bretman Raw collection, yeah. But I'm just going to be applying this in the inner third of my crease. So I'm applying it like into the crease and then doing these little circular motions to blend it outwards towards my brow. You know, honestly, for a pastel though, that has a lot of pigment to it. And I'm just gonna do a second layer, but I will warn you, this shade is a little bit on the powdery side because you can kind of see I got some fallout kind of going on right here. So just keep that in mind. And then the next shade we're going to use is this kind of like peachy orangey shade called Art Deco. And I'm just going to be applying this in the center third of my crease. Using this brush from Luxie, this is a 205 tapered blending brush. And then again, I'm just going to be doing these little circular motions to blend it upwards towards my brow. And I'm also kind of taking whatever's left on my brush and kind of like marrying it into that yellow, just so we have a really nice gradient fade. I'll warn you though, the yellow that we used as well as this orange, in the pan, it looks like a matte with like a little hint of shimmer in it. But when applied, it looks completely matte. Like, there is no shimmer at all. And then I'm just going to take that brush that we applied Big Smile with, that yellow, and with whatever is left, I'm just going right over the edge between the yellow and the orange, just so we don't have any harsh lines. So once you have that applied, now I'm going to go in with this pink shade called Atelier. And I'm just going to be taking this shade on this Anastasia A10 blending brush. It's kind of like one of those pinched ones. And I'm just going to be applying it again in the outer third of my crease. And I'm also rounding out this outer V. And this is one of those shades, again, in the pan that looks like it has a little bit of shimmer to it, but when applied, it is definitely matte. Like, there is absolutely no shimmer at all. Because, like, when you blend them, the shimmer just kind of, like, dusts away. But I think that they add the shimmer, though, just so you get a little bit better of a blend. And then I'm just kind of taking whatever's left on my brush and going into the orange. But honestly, for a one dip, like, that's a lot of pigment. So I'm going to do a second one. And I'm kind of like focusing the color in the crease and then buffing it outwards because this pink is like really pigmented and I don't want it to overpower anything around it. I just feel like in general though, Colourpop has a really nice pink eyeshadow formula. Like, they're always just so pigmented and they're just super easy to work with. And again, I'm kind of like marrying this pink into that orange. And just for a little bit more depth with this look, I'm going to go in with this hot pink in the palette called Paradise. So I'm just going to be applying this color in the outer third of my crease and also kind of like rounding out this outer V just a little bit. Just for a little bit of spiciness for when we cut the crease. And I'm just taking this brush from Morphe. They don't make it anymore, but it's very, very similar to an M507 brush. Just a little small blending brush. But ooh, that is really pretty. I do kind of wish that this shade was a red in the palette instead of a hot pink. So I'm just going to go in with a second layer just to kind of see what's up. So I mean, if you want it like really intense and a little bit richer, do 2 layers. But honestly, you wouldn't have to if you didn't want to. And this shade kind of is like a berry meets a hot pink. Like it's not like a true like hot pink. It does have a little bit of red to it. But at the same time, it's not like a true matte red either. And then I'm just gonna take that brush that we applied the pink with and kind of like kiss the edge of Paradise, just so we have a really nice blend. And I'm also kind of like fluffing it into the orange like this, kind of like bringing it in. So now we're gonna start working on the cool tone side on my other eye. And the first shade I wanna go in with is this really cool, almost like neon grass green, and it's called Dyed Up. I'm just going to be taking it on this brush from Luxie. This is a 229 tapered blending brush. And again, I'm just going to be popping this in my crease in the inner third of my eye. And then blending it upwards towards my brow. I mean, initially, like, she's cute, but not super pigmented. So I'm gonna go in with a second layer to see if we can build it up. So yeah, like, you can build it up. It's just like right away, it's not as bright and pigmented as the other colors that we used. Yeah, I'm gonna go in with a third layer just to see what happens. Yeah, you want to do about 3 layers with this one, especially if you want it to look like it does in the pan. So just keep that in mind if you do use this shade. But I will say though, unlike the yellow, it is not like dusty and it is not getting all over. For a neon, it actually is staying really well and it looks super smooth on the eye. And then once you have that applied, now we're going to go in with this true blue in the palette called Watermark. Ooh, she looks really pigmented. And I'm just going to be taking it on this brush from Sigma. It's an E35. Like, I barely dip my brush into it. So let's see how she looks applied. And again, I'm just going to be applying this in the center third of my crease again. Oh yeah, like she has a lot of pigment for a first initial application. And then again, I am doing these like little circular motions to blend it upwards towards my brow. Like honestly, you probably wouldn't have to build up this shade if you didn't want to. And then I'm also just taking whatever's left on my brush and marrying it right in with that green. But I just can't get over like how nice that is blending out. I feel like Colourpop though has one of the best blue eyeshadow formulas. And this shade kind of reminds me of the blue formula in the Blue Moon palette, if you like that one. Because that is literally one of my favorite blue palettes in my collection. It is so good. So I'm trying to figure out like which purple I want to go in with, but I think I want to go in with this one right here called Majestic. And I'm gonna warn you, like this shade is very pigmented. Like you barely tap your brush into it and it gets like all over it. So you just want to keep that in mind. Be a little bit careful when you dip your brush into the pan, but oh yeah. Like you see what I mean? Like she does give a little bit of fallout. And I'm just taking it on this Morphe M433 blending brush and I'm just going to be applying it to the outer third of my eye. Kind of like what we did with that pink. The first pink, not the hot pink that we used to define. I'm also going to use it to round out my outer V and slightly go into that blue. But formula wise, like it's a really nice purple. It literally gets everywhere. Because I mean, I'm going to take a little bit more, kind of like pack it on this edge. And you can see like it's just giving me complete fallout. Which I mean isn't a bad thing because personally I do my eyes before my face just in case this happens. But if you're somebody that doesn't want to deal with fallout and you do your face before your eyes, you're not going to like how this shade is. And then lastly, I'm just going to go in with this deeper purple shade in the palette called Zeitgeist. And I'm just going to be taking this on a Morphe M507 brush and I'm just going to be applying it in the outer third where we apply the purple. Just like more in the crease just to get a little bit more definition though. I'm also using it to round out this outer third. And it's not as powdery as the other purple that we use called Majestic either. Like this one is so much more manageable. So I don't know why the other one was so powdery because this one did not give me any of those issues. Like it's giving me a little bit of fallout, like a teeny tiny bit, but definitely not as bad as the other one did. I gotta say though, so far I'm really impressed with the formulas that we have used. Like they have all been really pigmented besides the green. Like the green we definitely did have to do a couple of layers with, but the other shades you don't really have to build them up if you don't want to, which is really nice, especially if you're somebody that hates building up your shadows. But off camera though, I'm just gonna cut my crease. I'm just gonna do like one of those like half cut creases and then afterwards I'll be right back to finish up the lid. So since we have these chunky harsh lines from cutting the crease, I'm just gonna go in with the deeper shades. So on this side, I'm just going to be going in with Paradise, that hot pinkish red color. And I'm just going in with this brush from the Morphe Pride collection. It's just a little shader brush. And I'm just packing it on in this outer third. And then on the other eye, I'm just doing the exact same thing, but I'm just going in with that really dark purple on this Anastasia A13. So with the lid, I do want to keep it a little bit more on the basic side because I do want to go in with the pressed glitters because they look so cool and just really fun in the pans, and I just want to put them all over my face. But the first shade that we are going to apply to the lid is this really pretty iridescent pink shade called Fantasyland. And I'm just going to be applying this to the side that is a little bit more on the warm tone side. And yeah, like this shade is a little bit more of like one of those wearable shimmers. It kind of looks like one of those champagne baby pink highlighters. It's kind of that color. And I'm just going to be applying it to the rest of that cut crease. Because I do want a base, like a shimmery base for the glitters, just so, you know, it looks a little bit more even and a little bit more sparkly. And then when I get to this outer edge, I'm just gonna go and kind of like tap between the two colors with whatever's left on my brush. But again, like this shimmer is one of those ones that's a little bit more on the wearable side, so if you like Colourpop's extra shimmers, you know, the ones that are like super metallic and glittery, you probably won't like this one. So now we're going to be doing the exact same thing on the other eye, but instead of going in with Fantasyland, I'm going to go in with this lilac shimmer shade called Express. And I'm just going to be taking it on this damp little flat shader brush, just like we did with Fantasyland, and applying it all over the cut crease that is still peeking through. And again, like this one is one of those wearable ones too, like it is not like super metallic or glittery. And I'm just gonna go in with a second layer, but if you're looking for an iridescent, more wearable, you know, kind of colorful shadow, you'll probably really like how these look. But again, like if you want something really like popping and super extra, you're not gonna be happy with them. It's definitely like a personal taste kind of thing. But they are definitely very cute on the eye, and they also apply really well too. They just have like that more wearable kind of like sheen to the eye. Like they have some shine, but it's just not like pow shine, if you know what I mean. And now we're gonna be applying the glitter, which I'm really excited for because they just look so chunky and cool in the pan. But the first one I want to go in with is this orange one called So Precious. And then on the other eye, I'm just gonna go in with this blue glitter called Kaleidoscope. I mean, like, look at how pretty this is. It's kind of like a baby blue with like iridescent lavender sparkle in it. It looks so pretty in the pan. But I'm just going to apply it everywhere on the lid just to match the other side. Oh yeah, like that is really cool. Ooh, I love that so much. This one does have some like chunkier, thicker little glitter bits in it, unlike the other one. But still, like, nonetheless, it looks absolutely stunning. I mean, like, look at that. Like, all of that shine and sparkle. Like, I don't know about you guys, but I am absolutely obsessed with glitter right now. Like, it really, like, pizzazzes up a look so effortlessly. And also, if you have any, like, issues with your blending on your lid, it completely can cover it up. Like, when in doubt, just apply glitter. Okay, but seriously, like, that glitter added so much to this look. Like, I just think it's turning out so cool. But off camera, though, I am just going to, like, clean things up a little bit. I'm going to apply, like, my complexion products, liner, lashes, stuff like that. And then afterwards, I'll be right back to finish up the look. So here's my right now after doing that all off camera, and I gotta say, like, this look is turning out so pretty and just so fun. But now we're gonna start working on the lower lash line because things are really top heavy and I just wanna like marry everything together. But what I'm essentially going to do is take the top portion and put it on the bottom in like the exact same order of the colors. So I'm first gonna take Paradise on this little shader brush from the Morphe Hit the Lights collection and go about a third of the way on the outer third of my eye. And then I'm just going to go in with Art Deco and do the exact same thing, just doing the center third. And when I'm doing this, I am doing back and forth motions. And then lastly, I'm just going to go in with the yellow on this little tiny Madison Beer shader brush. Like, this is one of the smallest shader brushes I've ever seen. But it's really good for this little detail work. And now let's do the other side, and I'm first going to go in with Majestic, that first purple that we used. And again, you want to work in thirds. So for the inner corner highlight today, I'm not going to use any of the shades out of the eyeshadow palette because I want something a little bit more on the icy side, and unfortunately there isn't like an icy white in the palette. So instead I'm actually going to be going in with this super cute Dreamery Super Shock Shadow Vault, and I don't know, I just thought it was a really great excuse to use it. And Colourpop launched this during their like 30% off week that they were having right before Black Friday. And I mean, like, even the packaging of it is just absolutely adorable. And all the colors in here are really cool too. But I want to go in with this kind of like icy color. And this one is called, if I can get it out. But this one is called Ice Dream. I actually used this shade as a highlighter today, but it's kind of like an iridescent bluish purple pink type of shade. And I'm just going to be taking it on this brush from Anastasia. It's their pencil brush. It is called an A14. And I'm just going to be packing it super heavy in that inner corner. Because since we did use glitter today, I want it like extra bright. Oh yeah, this is such a pretty color. Like, I love a good iridescent super shimmer shadow. Like, they're just so fun. And they literally go with everything. And what's nice about this one too is it makes a really good highlight. I mean, like, look at how blinding it is. And then the last item that we have in this collection is again the Creme Gel Liner little set. I guess I would call it a liner roll. I don't know exactly what to call it, but if you're like me and you're obsessed with the gel liner pencils from Colourpop, I think you're gonna love this. Because in this set, again, you get 12 liners, you get 1 white, and then you get a rainbow assortment of pastels and some really fun grungy purples. So I'm going to swatch them all for you guys, but this first one is called Exit, which is the white, literally one of my favorite pencils from Colourpop. And I also got it like down my arm, I was not careful. And then we have this pink one, and this one is called Good Reef. This one's a little bit more on the pastel side. And then we also have this kind of pastel peachy shade, and this one is called Peach Fizz. Oh yeah, like if you're into peach, I think you're gonna love that one. That's a really pretty color. And then the next one in line is this yellow shade, and again, this is a pastel called Extra Frosting. And this one is a super pale yellow. I don't think I've ever seen anything like that for a liner before. And I'll show you guys everything up close in a minute. This next one is kind of like a deepened teal, and it is called Catsuit. Ooh, that one kind of reminds me of the one out of the Raw Beauty Kristi collection, but it's just a little bit more blue. And then this next one right here is called Icebreaker. This is one of my favorites. I love this one so much because it really goes well with blue eyeshadow looks as well as green. It's just such a cool color. It's kind of like a minty color. And then the next one I have is called Prance, and this one's kind of like a periwinkle. But these are one of my favorite formulas ever because they are so creamy, very pigmented, and they last in the waterline literally all day. And of course we cannot forget Crybaby, which is a lavender shade. I remember when this one launched, I was so excited about it. This was like years ago when it came in a pot as well. I'm not too sure if they still make the gel liners, but I remember this one and I just loved it so much because my friend was so obsessed with it. And then the next one is this one called Amethyst Hour. And this is kind of like a pinkish purple. Almost like mauve-y in a way. Super pretty, and also this one makes a really good lip liner. Like if you love mauve lip liners, you should try this one out for that. And then we have this more deeper purple shade, and this one is called Piggy Bank. And this one's almost, I guess, a little bit more of like a plumish color. The only downfall to me about this set is that they didn't include Swerve, which is the black one. Like, I don't know why you'd have a gel liner set without having a white liner and a black, because those are the most used colors for people. But the next one we have is this kind of like burgundy shade, and it is called Joyride. And I have been wanting this color for a really long time, and it has been out of stock forever. And if I remember right, this one's kind of like a cranberry or like an oxblood. Oh yeah, that is totally me. Oh, that one's gonna be so much fun for winter. And then last but not least, we have one of my all-time favorites, and this one is called Charmer, and this is literally one of the most underrated ones. I love this one for cranberry eye looks. And then here's the liners all up close and personal, and as you can see, they're all completely matte and just super pigmented. So since we did 2 different eye looks and I want things to look a little bit more on the cohesive side right now, I am gonna go in with the Exit Gel Liner Pencil, which is the white one. And I know somebody's gonna call me boring out there for not using a colorful one, but you know what? Sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. I forgot to mention, but I did take Lucky Clover, this yellow chunky glitter, and put it over on top of that orange glitter that we used called So Precious, just because I wanted to match the chunkiness on the other side that we had going on, and I don't know, it just was kind of looking a little uneven, and I think it actually looks really cool, and also it was really easy to apply, and it didn't give me any fallout. So let's talk about the eyeshadow palette, and overall I'm just so impressed with it. I think it's just so fun. And one thing I really like about it is the design of it. I love that they did like each column a different color. So you know, you have like the pinks here, the oranges, yellows, and so on and so forth. And I find it just a really nice design, especially if you're somebody that doesn't really play with color and you don't know what type of looks to do with this palette. Formula-wise though, the mattes in here are extremely pigmented. You don't have to build them up if you don't want to. Other than this green shade that we used, that one was a little bit more on the sheer side. But again, for a neon green, I don't think it was bad. And again, it only took about 2 to 3 layers to get it where I wanted it to be. As for the shimmers that we used, they were a little bit more of that wearable type of shimmer. So if you want something a little pizzazzy and super pow in your face, I don't think you're going to be happy with them. However, if you want something a little bit lighter and airier and good for everyday wear, I think you're going to really enjoy them. As for the glitters in this palette, they are packed full of glitter. They're very easy to apply and they do not crumble or flake throughout the day. Like, they are just a really nice formula. By far, one of my favorite glitter formulas is Colourpop's. Like, it's just so easy to work with. And also, what I really like about it too is that it doesn't get like chunky or weird when you apply it to the eye. Like, I barely even feel it. I mean, like, how did I get all this eyeshadow on my hand from holding up the palette? But you know what? I must have dug my fingers in it. And I'm glad that this didn't get on my clothes. As for the liner roll set, I think this is super cute and I love the colors that they chose. Again, the only thing I don't like is that they didn't include Swerve, which is the black gel liner pencil, because it just doesn't feel like a full set without a black gel liner. I don't know if you're like that too. But aside from that, I love the colors. I think it is super fun and I think they really pair well with the palette. But if you're looking to try Colourpop's gel liner pencils and you don't know where to start, or if you're looking to add to your collection, I think this is a really fun way to do so. So when it comes down to it, would I recommend this collection to you guys? And honestly, if you're into color and you love shine and sparkle, I think you're going to be really happy with it. Because again, the formula of the eyeshadow palette is really nice. There's a really nice variety of colors in here and tones. And also, it's just a really fun little vibe. Now, if you're somebody that already has the tie-dye collection from Colourpop, their pastel collection that they launched, as well as a lot of the 9-pan monochromatic palettes, you know, like the blue one and the green one and stuff like that, you might find some duplicates between this palette and those, so just keep that in mind if you don't like having duplicate shades in your collection. But yeah, so in the comments down below, let me know what you think about this collection and if you're going to be picking up any of the products from it. And as always though, if you haven't already, make sure you hit the subscribe button down below and also give this video a like. And if you'd like to check me out over on my Instagram page or my TikTok, it is at Breyonna as well. And I'll talk to you guys later. Bye!